like Clairvoyant did out of Tempest to try and make the plays here. Now, getting into this draft phase, we have really standard bans. Like the most prototypical standard bans you could possibly have. Tychus into Arthas. I could take a nap and you could tell me those are the bans. I wouldn't wake up at all. We see we see
Yep.
Tassadar, first pick by Tempest. He's been growing a little as a first pick. A lot of times it might have been Stitches or something, but Tassadar really safe. Symbiote follows it up with Falstad Vala, securing the really strong backline. Tempest picks Stitches Zeratul, and that's kind of the combo that a lot of people have been talking about. Now, what do you think of this combo here by Tempest, Sheth?
Well, they're going for the old hook and then void prison the rest of the team out, kill someone, and then either fight or disengage depending on how things are looking.
Yeah.
It just really depends on the Stitches player and the team coordination and not falling again far behind before you can start getting those picks. Uh, that's pretty much
Definitely.
it.
Definitely. And Symbiote has like a really strong backline, but even Vala and Falstad, even though they have okay escape mechanisms, they can't get away once you hook them a lot of the time. So there are nice targets for Stitches to hit. Sometimes I'm playing Stitches, I just feel like there's not a single good hook target on the enemy team. But at least he has two to root for now. If he hooks Barbarian, Uther, or Diablo, I'm a little scared. We'd have to see how that works out, because that can be
Hooking,
sketchy.
hooking Uther can definitely be tough because he just almost lives through, or even if he dies, he still keeps them there and does a lot of damage and healing.
Yeah,
It's probably definitely not worth it to hook the Uther.
definitely. Now, Tempest's roster rounded out with that Raynor Rhaegar. Pretty standard. I mean, Rhaegar pretty well regarded as one of the best healers in the current meta. Uther, already been taken by Symbiote, so they just take the Rhaegar last pick there. And Symbiote, the Diablo Barbarian, they're looking to combo some big AoE stuns, the Shock and Awe, try and pull out a lot of teamfight stun and damage. We might even see a Rain of Vengeance here just to stack more stuns on top of stuns. We'd see 4 big AoE stuns and, just Falstad for damage. So that could be interesting, guys. And, I think that's all we have to say about the draft. Are we ready to get into it?
Let's do it. That's the best part.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is, guys. We're here, ESV Championship Series, Week 5, Day 2, Game number 3. We're looking at Tempest versus Symbiote. You locked in at 5 seconds, normal speed, good to go, Sheth?
That's set, ready to watch the games.
Awesome. I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1 then. We have Nightmare on the Stitches, Pythix on the Tassadar, Toejam and Earl rocking that Zeratul, Treble on the Rhaegar, Pelion on the Raynor, rocking that America skin.
Oh yeah. And on the right side we got KO, Falstead going top lane it looks like, Soldier Barbarian, Dreadnought no longer the purple Diablo, he's now the red Diablo,
Wow.
and Arthlon on Fala, Timmy on Uther.
The betting odds were long in favor of SMG, but now that I've seen he's not rocking the Barney skin on Diablo anymore, I just don't know what chance they have to win this game. I just don't see it.
It was definitely a mistake made at the pick phase,
Yeah.
but I think they're almost mocking, like we can win even without that skin.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
some pretty major disrespect.
Hubris. Definitely some hubris from Symbiote, not even needing the help from the Barney Diablo skin to win this game. Nightmare throwing out a blind hook, hoping someone is in that brush, but nobody's there, and they end up sending 3 people to bottom lane. Zeratul checks this brush, ends up getting hit by the Barbarian stun, but no Uther stun to follow up in that split-second stun, and he manages to blink out. A lot of harass taken, though.
Yeah, just like what you said. It's going to be, another 3v3 lane here for a little bit at least. If Stitches gets good hooks, it can definitely change things. If he doesn't, well, the other lane will, I believe, dominate. At
Yeah,
least to go elsewhere if they want to.
for sure. The Uther healing in this lane, matched up against no healers from this Tempest team, is such a rough place to be in for this Raynor Zeratul Stitches. They don't have a healer with them. Rhaegar's in their top lane. If they don't make something big happen, they'll get out-sustained and lose the lane.
Yep, for sure. Top lane, Diablo versus Rhaegar, nothing big will happen there, I can imagine. But definitely in this situation, the Rhaegar will lose the one-on-one fight. And mid, we got, looks like even KO also bullying out Pythix. They might be able to get almost getting Dragon there.
Almost getting Dragon Knight, but Tempest realized that there were no longer 3 people on this bottom side for Symbiote, so they knew they could take the shrine, and they had to prevent that Dragon Knight. Nightmare goes for another hooks, but they're just not quite there today. Arthalon dodges that behind the creep. Nightmare says, get over here to the creep, and manages to snag it out. Now we see a gank on top side. Dreadnought and Treble had fought to very low amounts of health. Kaio, taking advantage of his global map mobility, ends up forcing the kill onto Rhaegar using Falstad's fly ability. Symbiote might have an opportunity to secure the Dragon Knight here if they can hold bottom shrine.
Yeah, big kill here. Symbiote rotating very well. You know, again, changing things up, not always just keeping things the same. And you know, it's forcing the other team to fall in these sort of mistakes or these bad situations.
Yeah, as we say that though, Symbiote overcommits a little bit to their own struggle in the bottom shrine. They wanted to get that Dragon Knight so badly that Uther ended up getting caught in the middle of 2 people from this Tempest team, but Tempest ends up trading Raynor anyway. And now we see Tassadar actually getting caught here by Diablo, just overextending a little bit, trying to hold them off of that Dragon Knight statue, just believing in his team that they could get the shrines back. They couldn't get it in time. He goes down. Symbiote secures a 3-kill to 1-kill advantage and a level up and the Dragon Knight.
Not the opening that Tempest wants. That's for sure. This is SMG putting on the pressure early, keeping things always changing, always being the aggressor, or mostly being the aggressor here. It is going to be like almost a tough momentum switch for Tempest. Like, can they get the mindset back? It's all right. We can do this, guys.
Yeah, that is a tough place to be. You're already suffering nerves because these games are so critical for getting into the playoffs. You know that Symbiote is a good team, and oh my god, Kaio with a huge hammer just leaves Pithix at a tiny amount of health.
Oh.
That was brutal. If he had one more stack of Gathering Power, I think he would have got the kill here. Meanwhile, Symbiote also engaging on the bottom side. We have an Uther stun onto Stitches, but will it be enough? That tanky Abomination looking to run away. He ends up running to the right side. He's going to find more resistance in the form of a Falstad. Hooks him in just to send a message, but that message is, I am now dead. And it's just not the most effective message to send if you're trying to win the game.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for the other side's, or SMG is going to go for Tempest Mercs. And
definitely.
I definitely think they'll be able to get them there, level up. One person is dead for a while. He's on the way now, so they are contesting
taking some damage now. Falstad flying in for SMG, but Tempest a little overextended here. They thought they could catch Arthalon. It's not enough. Raynor ends up dying for his team's sins, and that is a secured mercenary camp for Symbiote.
Whew, that was close, though. That was almost the turnaround.
It was. It was almost. Now, so Kaio on the Falstad went and bribed those mercenaries bottom, and as soon as Tempest saw that, they tried to engage, but Falstad used the fly to get back to the fight. He didn't use the fly to get to the golems on the bottom, so Tempest didn't realize they didn't have as much time as they thought they might and end up losing to that fight.
Yeah, it's
while
also
they were
important
disadvantaged.
to notice that the healer was with SMG's team, where Rhaegar was top, and that's a huge deal. You almost can't fight, you know, on equal footing if your healer isn't with and the other team's is.
Yeah, definitely. Those, you know, the healer's so powerful in those early game skirmishes where no one really has the burst damage to burst someone out before they can get healed. Any healer is just going to be so instrumental in those early skirmishes that tend to be so scrappy and kind of long as everybody struggles to find the damage to actually get the kill. Symbiote at level 10 now, trying to make something happen. They're at Tempest Knights. Will Tempest be able to do anything here? Down 1 level, but it's 9 to 10. They hook Dreadnought in, and they're not going to get enough damage on him. He's still at half health, doesn't really care. We see the Barbarian leap in onto 3 people. The Diablo comes out, hits 2 people. Huge shock and awe onto Raynor. He doesn't get to trigger his adrenaline overload. Arthalon comes in with a strafe, not going to be able to clean. Oh, he does clean up the Tassadar, just a little bit of greed. Tassadar coming in for that last auto attack. Now we see a dive in the top lane onto Treble, initiated by Dreadnought. Knights tanking the fort, and that is going to be a 3-for-0 so quickly in favor of SMG.
Yeah, impressive. Just making the calls. All right, we're a little bit ahead. Let's try for their Knights. Let's take it. A hook hitting the Diablo, again, not who they really wanted. And then the leap. Soldier just knowing the right time. Diablo ult, followed up hitting 2 people, and then the Falstad laser. Just sick play. Using all the heroic abilities just perfectly.
Definitely. We saw, I mean, SMG really one of the only teams that can take that kind of huge play and make it out of just a 1-level lead. That 1-level lead with your heroics, we see so many teams get, 30 seconds at level 10 while the enemy team's level 9 and not make anything happen with it. SMG says, no, we get level 10. We're going to get on the enemy side of the map. We're going to force something because that is how the game is played. They get 2 forts and a Dragon Knight off of that one play, now securing a 3-level advantage. That is just devastating.
Yeah, just like you said, 3 levels early. It's definitely rough. You could almost fight 4v5 here. They may have to.
Yeah, so Tempest trying to find an engagement here. Soldier re-engages though, so brave, doesn't care that they're 4v5, and Tempest on the run immediately. They get one picked off. Soldier's in the gorge, but it's not enough. Even with the Bloodlust, they can't disengage from this Symbiote lineup. Soldier's gonna walk away with just that little bit of health, and the Dragon Knight on the top side does take down the wall of that top keep. A 2-for-0 in favor of Symbiote.
Yeah, pretty exceptional. Diablo kind of suffers from lack of being that strong without his ult, so they just threw him in the Dragon Knight. And, he pushed top, and then the rest of the team, I don't think they really wanted to fight necessarily, but they got the perfect fight, perfect situation, and, when you're 3 levels up, it's not too hard to find it.
Definitely. Now, another advantage of having all of that front-loaded damage, that burst that they had there in that fight just lets them blow up Zeratul. He didn't even get to blink out. The Barbarian leaped in, he got hit by that and died before the stun ended, so huge coordination there by Symbiote. Now Tempest trying to fight for their mercs, but it's just not enough. They end up getting stunned by the Barber Leap into the Diablo ult, and he accidentally overpowers him into the Void Prison. Now Pelion is getting left for dead here by this Tempest team. SMG just waiting for that Void Prison to drop. They know they're going to be able to kill him. They have yet another power play here, and they decide to go and get all 4 extra ogres on this bottom lane.
Every single merc camp in the game at the moment has been, or is being taken by SMG.
Yeah.
The map control, just tremendous. Once you start getting a lead on Dragon Knight, it can snowball. And here I definitely see them pushing with these ogres. And
Absolutely.
It's going to be tough. I hope Tempest can do it. They need to, right? Their spots on the line. Can they stop these 4 ogres in this, SMG...
Death Ball, we might call it.
I was going to call it a Dreadnought, and it would be kind of a pun.
Wow. I'm really sorry, actually, that I cut you off then, because that was really good.
Oh,
My apologies.
I was worried it wasn't that good, so it works out. So.
Sham 2 approved, I'll give you that. That good.
Alright.
Anyway, we see ourselves, we are now 10 minutes into the game, and Symbiote putting so much pressure on, 3-level lead. Hook comes out from Nightmare, but it just gets a Siege Giant. That's not the worst thing ever, but it is not the shiny orb in the Claw Grabber. You're just hoping to get that Arthalon or Kaio on the Valor Falstead. That's who you need to win this team fight hard. When you're at a 3-level advantage, and they pull Soldier. Will it be enough? There's a Barbarian inside of that gorge, but Dreadnought is following up. He's taking the fort. We see a huge 3-man leap by Soldier as soon as he gets out of the gorge, followed by Shakana, going to instantly blow up Rhaegar and Stitches. That is not what you want to happen. Raynor trying to fight. He's inside his fort. He thinks he has what it takes. There's an Archon as well from Pithix, but it is just not enough. This Symbiote team is so much stronger. Diablo finishing off Archon all in his lonesome. That is not something you see every day. I think Symbiote's just going to end the game here, Sheth.
Yeah, I think a little bit of miscommunication. I think the Stitches thought that the Void Prison was up, but it clearly wasn't, and the game ends.